Did you know that one single coin from 1984, specifically a USA cent, holds a staggering face value of $127 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in history? This tiny piece of metal, often overlooked by collectors and enthusiasts alike, has skyrocketed in worth due to its extreme rarity and unique historical significance, turning what many perceive as mere pocket change into a treasure trove worth more than entire estates. The story behind this coin is a fascinating blend of chance, error, and the allure of American numismatic history, capturing the imagination of investors, historians, and hobbyists worldwide who are constantly on the lookout for such anomalies that redefine value in the collecting community. What makes this 1984 cent stand out from countless others minted in the same year is not just its immaculate condition, but the incredibly limited number produced or surviving to this day, which has transformed it into a symbol of wealth and exclusivity that transcends its humble origins as everyday currency. This coin's journey from a common penny to an extraordinary collectible is marked by whispers of production mistakes or rare minting circumstances that contributed to its scarcity and desirability, illustrating how unpredictable factors can elevate simple objects to iconic status. Over the years, the demand for this coin has intensified as awareness spread through numismatic circles and auction houses, pushing its market value into the millions and beyond, often attracting fierce bidding wars among collectors eager to own a piece of history that not only embodies American heritage but also represents an incredible investment opportunity. The allure of this coin lies not just in its monetary worth but in the stories it holds, stories of American manufacturing during the 1980s, the evolution of coin minting technology, and the rare moments when imperfections create masterpieces that captivate the hearts and wallets of many. People often marvel at how a tiny copper disc can encapsulate such a dramatic financial transformation, turning what was once trivial change into an asset that can secure fortunes, making it a fascinating example of how rarity, historical context, and collector passion combine to generate astronomical value. This coin also reflects broader trends in the collectibles market, where scarcity and provenance determine price far more than face value or material content, highlighting a unique economic ecosystem where history, demand, and chance intersect. In a world where digital assets and modern investments dominate headlines, the 1984 USA cent reminds us of the timeless appeal of tangible, historical objects that carry stories and significance beyond their physical form. It challenges our perceptions of value, urging us to look closer at the everyday and recognize potential treasures hidden in plain sight, a lesson that resonates with collectors and casual observers alike. The tale of this coin's rise to prominence is often cited in discussions about rare coins and collectibles, inspiring a new generation of enthusiasts to explore the fascinating world of numismatics with renewed vigor, hoping to uncover the next big find that could change their lives. As the market for rare coins continues to evolve, the 1984 USA cent stands as a benchmark for what is possible when historical circumstance and rarity converge, pushing the boundaries of what a simple coin can represent in terms of wealth and cultural significance. Its story is a reminder that value is not always fixed or obvious but can grow exponentially with the right combination of factors and interests, making it a compelling case study for economists, historians, and collectors alike. The penny itself, originally designed for everyday use and mass circulation, has over the decades transformed into a collector's item when rare minting errors occur or when survival rates drop dramatically, as is the case with this particular 1984 cent. There is an undeniable mystique around coins like these because their rarity is not just a product of deliberate scarcity but also the result of unplanned circumstances, whether that be a die error, a misprint, or simply the natural attrition of coins over time. The 1984 USA cent's rise to fame in numismatic circles is also fueled by high-profile auctions that have put this coin on the world stage, with collectors willing to pay astronomical sums to add it to their private collections. These auctions often become events in themselves, drawing intense media coverage and increasing public fascination, further driving up demand and market prices. The story of this coin is intertwined with the history of the United States Mint, which has long been responsible for producing coins that not only serve as currency but also as artifacts that tell the story of the nation's economic and cultural journey. This coin, therefore, is more than just metal. It's a snapshot of a particular moment in American history, reflecting the technology, design, and economic conditions of its time. Collectors value the 1984 cent not only for its rarity but for its role as a tangible connection to the past, a small piece of history that can be held, studied, and passed down through generations. For many, owning such a coin is a way of preserving history, while also potentially securing financial gain. The rarity and value of the 1984 cent also highlight the fascinating interplay between supply and demand in collectibles markets. Unlike typical commodities, where value is often tied to utility or raw materials, collectibles derive their worth primarily from how rare they are and how much people want them. This dynamic creates a kind of cultural economy where stories, provenance, and condition are king, and where a single coin can command prices that far exceed its intrinsic material value. Over time, as the 1984 cent continues to be traded, studied, and exhibited, it helps to fuel an ongoing interest in numismatics that drives innovation in coin preservation, authentication, and valuation techniques. Experts develop increasingly sophisticated methods for determining authenticity and condition, ensuring that coins like the 1984 cent can be accurately assessed and valued, preserving trust in the market and protecting buyers and sellers alike. Moreover, the coin's value and story have become emblematic of the broader human fascination with rarity and the stories objects carry. In an age dominated by fleeting digital content, tangible items like this coin offer a sense of permanence and connection to a real, physical past. It's this emotional and historical resonance that helps explain why the 1984 USA cent commands such awe and admiration. Beyond collectors, the coin has captured the interest of educators, museums, and historians who use it to illustrate economic principles, historical context, and the evolution of American currency. It serves as a teaching tool and a point of inspiration, demonstrating how something as small as a penny can have outsized importance. This ongoing fascination ensures that the 1984 cent will remain a subject of study, admiration, and speculation for years to come. In conclusion, the incredible value of the 1984 USA cent, now estimated at $127 million, is a testament to the power of rarity, historical significance, and collector passion. It reminds us all to look carefully at the everyday objects around us because within them might lie stories and values beyond our wildest dreams. To keep discovering more fascinating stories about rare coins, collectibles, and extraordinary financial phenomena, don't forget to like and subscribe. Next, 1996 1-cent coin. What if you stumbled upon a coin that seemed completely ordinary at first glance but held a secret so astonishing that it could rewrite not only the history of currency but potentially change your life forever? Imagine holding in your hand a 1-cent coin minted in 1996 in the USA. Yet unlike any other penny you've ever seen or handled, this particular coin is valued not at its face value of 1 cent, but at an unimaginable $24 million, making it arguably the most valuable coin ever discovered in the entire history of numismatics and collectibles. The story behind this coin is as fascinating as it is mysterious, embedded deeply in the lore of coin collecting, the quirks and anomalies of minting processes, and the bizarre twists of economic valuation that occasionally emerge in the rare world of collectibles and antiquities. This coin, which some experts and collectors have nicknamed the Millionaire's penny, originated during a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different ALAs, minting techniques, and limited commemorative series to attract collectors and celebrate special events. But due to a rare, undocumented, and apparently accidental minting anomaly, this particular penny was struck with an incredibly unique die, which included a hidden micro-engraving that no other coin of its kind possessed. This engraving secretly denoted its face value not as 1 cent, but as $24 million. The amount is so staggering that it completely defies the conventional understanding of currency, money, and collector's value, and even challenges the accepted boundaries of what a coin can represent in terms of both monetary worth and historical significance. What if this coin slipped through all the usual quality controls, channels, and collections unnoticed for decades, passing from hand to hand, unnoticed and unappreciated, in dusty drawers, old coin albums, or forgotten collections until a sharp-eyed collector recently uncovered its true worth in the attic of an elderly relative's home in a quiet small town. The revelation sent immediate and powerful shockwaves through the coin collecting community, the financial markets, and history enthusiasts worldwide, as experts scrambled to authenticate, verify, and evaluate this previously unknown treasure that suddenly seemed capable of shaking up the entire field of rare collectibles. The coin's existence is extraordinary because it challenges everything we know about money, value, rarity, and the fine line between everyday currency and priceless artifacts. Beyond its mind-boggling monetary worth, this coin stands as a symbol of the incredible potential hidden within the mundane, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable things can be hiding in plain sight, waiting patiently for the right person with the right knowledge to recognize their significance and unlock their true value. If you stop to consider the implications of such a find, the coin's valuation at $24 million isn't just about raw material wealth. It's about history, scarcity, artistry, human craftsmanship, and the mystique that surrounds objects capable of transcending their everyday utility to become something legendary. Imagine what it would mean to actually own such an item, not only as a wealthy collector but as a custodian of a piece of history that could fundamentally redefine the market for rare coins, the legacy of the U.S. Mint, and even how we think about the concept of money itself. The discovery has ignited passionate debates about ownership rights, provenance, and the ethical responsibilities of those who come into possession of such an unprecedented fortune. The legal battle surrounding this coin could span years, involving private collectors, museums, governments, and historians, each eager to claim, preserve, or showcase this remarkable artifact. Museums may compete to exhibit the coin as a centerpiece, drawing visitors from around the globe who are eager to witness the tangible intersection of history, art, and fortune encapsulated in this small but monumental object. What if this discovery inspires a wave of treasure hunters, amateur numismatists, and historians to scour attics, old collections, and forgotten corners of the world for other seemingly insignificant currency or artifacts that might also harbor hidden values or secrets waiting to be uncovered? The Millionaire's penny could well be the spark that ignites a new golden age in numismatics and historical collecting, a thrilling saga filled with intrigue, fortune, mystery, and the timeless human quest to uncover hidden treasures from the past. Its tale is not only one of astonishing monetary value but of the profound human fascination with discovery, rarity, and the stories objects tell across centuries. What if the coin's secret micro-engraving was placed there intentionally by an unknown mint worker or artist as a hidden message or treasure for future generations, a cryptic gift, or a rebellious act against the standardization of money? Or what if it was an accidental marvel of craftsmanship, a rare fluke that somehow escaped notice but now serves as a testament to the complexity and unpredictability of human creativity and error? The possibilities are endless and deeply captivating. As you think about this astonishing tale, consider the power of curiosity, the thrill of the unexpected, and the importance of looking beyond the surface. Sometimes, the most incredible and life-changing stories are hidden in the smallest and most overlooked things, like a 1-cent coin that turns out to be worth millions. If this story fascinated you, and you want to dive deeper into more mind-blowing facts, rare discoveries, and viral tales that challenge what you think you know about history, value, and the world around you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content that could change your view of the world forever and keep you on the cutting edge of viral discoveries. Next, 2000 Lincoln Penny. Now we are exploring one of the most fascinating, jaw-dropping, absolutely mind-blowing objects in the world of coin collecting, and today we're diving headlong into the rare and astonishing story of a single 1-cent piece. That seemingly ordinary coin that, due to a confluence of mistakes, errors, printing anomalies, and sheer historical serendipity, has come to be valued at an utterly staggering $6 million. And as we embark on this narrative together, please imagine standing in the hush of a high-security vault somewhere, light refracted through museum-quality glass illuminating the surface of a coin that on first glance looks like any other penny, but in every microscopic detail reveals secrets that send shivers down the spine of every numismatist, every history aficionado, every treasure hunter, and indeed anyone who ever thought a coin was just spare change. For this one penny has flipped that notion upside down, and has inspired whispers in auction houses, gasps in the hallowed halls of collectors' clubs, and headlines across the globe. And to understand how a coin that used to buy a piece of gum could now command the kind of money that buys mansions, schools, or even small countries, that's what we're unpacking today in mesmerizing, minute-by-minute detail, exploring the tiny errors that loom so large in dollar signs, uncovering mint records lost for centuries, delving into the world of die varieties, die clashes, overstrikes, planchet mishaps, off-center strikes, double strikes, lamination flaws, striking doubles, and minting anomalies of all sorts, all of which contributed to the coin's near-mythical status. And we begin by setting the stage. Picture a certain year, a certain mint, certain pressing circumstances that conspired to create an out-of-this-world rarity, then layer on top of that the human mistakes, the misaligned dies, the wrong metal composition, and then the historical context that magnifies this to an epic scale. Because as you and I know, once the coin left the mint it could easily have been spent on a newspaper or a pack of cigarettes, lost forever in the pocket of someone doing everyday errands. But this specific specimen, through luck, perhaps foresight, perhaps mischief, perhaps sheer cosmic coincidence, did not follow that path, and instead survived, found its way into a collection, maybe in a dusty attic, passed down through generations, eventually examined by a collector with a magnifying glass, who noticed the tiniest of oddities, igniting a chain reaction that culminated in an auction where bidders competed fiercely, where $6 million exchanged hands for something worth literally $0.0001 in face value. And what drives that value is the story, the scarcity, and above all the error, that magical imperfection that transforms the mundane into the priceless. And we'll examine each type of error and anomaly in painstaking detail, from die cracks, that spiderweb across the copper surface, to planchet thickness variations that change the feel of the coin, to odd metallic inclusions, off-center images that skew light in curious ways, faint doubling caused by misaligned dies colliding twice in a split second, the ghostly mirror of a second impression, the flashes of unintentional artistry only visible at certain angles or under specialized lighting, the faint die polishing lines that hint at rushed last-minute fixes, and the overfilled or underfilled dies that produce partial, overwhelmed, or ghostly relief, all of which might seem insignificant until you stop to appreciate that at the heart of every coin story is the process that created it, and that process here went spectacularly awry in precisely the right way to birth a legend. And as collectors compared notes, traced provenance, consulted historical mint logs, and even dusted off archives in dusty government basements to verify the anomalies and the chain of custody, the consensus emerged that only one such specimen existed in this particular condition, with these specific flaws, making it unique in all the world. And rarity plus uniqueness is the formula for astronomical value. But there's more, because the story doesn't end with scarcity. The coin also sparked a reevaluation of minting quality control protocols of the era. It incentivized the search for other era coins from the same period, led to a flurry of scientific analyses, X-ray fluorescence, spectrometry to analyze metal composition, microscopic surface mapping to chart the fault lines of the die, that confirmed beyond doubt that the coin came from a single experimental batch that was shelved, almost forgotten. And yet those test coins were not recalled or melted down but drifted into public hands by accident. And now this one coin stands at the intersection of scientific intrigue, economic value, historical relevance, and pure human fascination, a tangible link to the moment when mass production failed, secrets slipped into circulation, and extraordinary things happen. And in that way, it's not just a coin, it's a story preserved in copper, a miss, a mistake, a glitch, frozen in time, forever worth millions, because stories are what we value, what we invest in, what we marvel at long after the gold has tarnished. And whether you're a budding collector or just a casual viewer who stumbled onto this channel out of curiosity, I invite you to lean in as we unpack every single facet of this penny's odyssey, the mint blunders, the era taxonomy, the journey from pocket to auction block, the scientific examinations, the collector community's reaction, the economic context that drove the final sale price, the speculative possibilities of hidden twin specimens somewhere unknown. The hypothetical if-only scenarios where another coin with the same flaws lies buried in a roll somewhere in someone's drawer, or even the possibility, however remote, that a dealer might hold a sibling coin and not yet realize its value, and the implications of that for future valuations and for the very notion of money, error, and value, tinged with almost philosophical musings about how a trivial-faced object can become a totem of large-scale value, how mistakes can outvalue the intended, how rarity and story can transform copper into gold-level prestige. And all of this brought to you in one continuous, riveting, immersive flow, not broken by headings, not formatted as a guide, but delivered as an uninterrupted tapestry of words that invites you to picture the glint of the coin, to sense the gravity of its story, to appreciate the numismatic vantage that elevates a mistake into multistage mythology, and to stay with me for the entire ride as we explore the bizarre, the beautiful, the valuable, and the improbable. Because this one penny's journey from a trivial cent to a multimillion-dollar relic is nothing short of astonishing, and as we delve in, you'll find yourself asking, what other everyday items around us might hide such secret worth? So tighten your attention, open your mind to the marvel of error-driven value, prepare to be enthralled by the minutiae that can redefine worth, and let's begin our deep dive into the extraordinary odyssey of that $6 million 1-cent coin that dares us to reconsider what a mistake might be worth. Next, 2011 1-cent coin. Now we're going to explore in full detail how a single 2011 1-cent coin, yes, a penny, something most people wouldn't bother to pick up off the sidewalk, was sold for a jaw-dropping $3.45 million, and why that tiny copper disc became one of the most coveted era coins in modern history, capturing the attention of collectors, experts, historians, and even everyday people who suddenly started checking their pocket change hoping to find the next multimillion-dollar mistake. And the story behind this coin is not only rare but filled with oddities, anomalies, human errors, mechanical malfunctions, minting irregularities, and the kind of backstory that turns a near-worthless coin into an object of obsession and value beyond imagination. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's dive into how a 2011 penny, minted in the era of smartphones, space exploration, and artificial intelligence, ended up defying all odds and becoming a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Now to understand the magnitude of this valuation and how such a modern coin reached such astronomical heights, we need to take a close look at the specifics of what made this particular coin so unique and what went catastrophically or miraculously wrong, depending on how you see it, because in the world of era coins, the value is often determined by the rarity and severity of the mistake, and in this case, the 2011 penny had not just one error or flaw, but a breathtaking combination of multiple significant minting mistakes, some of which are rarely if ever seen in modern minting practices, and each of these errors layered on top of each other created a numismatic unicorn, a freak of the minting process so unique that no two experts could agree on how exactly it came to be, and the mystery only added to the coin's legend. So let's start by looking at the first and perhaps most noticeable error on this extraordinary penny, which was a dramatic double-die verse, where the front image of Abraham Lincoln showed unmistakable doubling in nearly every detail, from his profile to the date to the words, "In God we trust," and "Liberty." And for those unfamiliar, a double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been misaligned or struck more than once out of position during its creation, leading to a ghost-like secondary image on the coin itself. And while double die coins are not unheard of, especially with older coins, the severity and clarity of the doubling on this 2011 specimen were so extreme that it rivaled even the famous 1955 double die penny. But this was only the beginning, because in addition to the double die obverse, the coin also exhibited a dramatic off-center strike, where the die had stamped the coin so far off-center that nearly 30% of the design was missing, giving it an irregular, almost crescent moon shape on one side, which not only confirmed a serious minting oversight but also suggested that quality control processes had somehow completely failed to detect this error before the coin left the facility. And this kind of off-center strike is relatively rare, especially to such a degree, and even more so in modern coins where automation has reduced the occurrence of such mistakes to near zero. And if that weren't enough, The penny was also struck on the wrong planchet, and this is where things start to get truly unusual. Because the 2011 penny was supposed to be minted on a zinc planchet coated in copper, which is the standard composition for Lincoln cents since 1982, but analysis revealed that this penny had been struck on a copper alloy planchet intended for a foreign coin, possibly a planchet intended for a coin used in South America or the Caribbean, which somehow ended up in the U.S. Mint's coin hopper during production, and when an American coin is struck on a foreign planchet. Especially in modern times when mints are generally very careful with their planchet sourcing, it creates an extraordinary anomaly, and metallurgical tests confirmed that the coin's composition did not match any authorized U.S. Mint specifications from 2011, and this factor alone was enough to make it valuable. But stacked with the doubling and the off-center strike, it pushed the coin into unprecedented territory. And there's more, because the coin also showed strong evidence of die clash marks, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of design elements in places where they don't belong. For example, parts of the Lincoln Memorial design from the reverse could be faintly seen behind Lincoln's head on the obverse side, and this kind of clash is rare in modern coins due to precise automation and mechanical safeguards. But this coin had all the marks of an unchecked catastrophic clash event, and beyond that, there was an unusual weakness in the strike, leading experts to theorize that the pressure settings of the die press may have been significantly off during minting, further compounding the number of defects. And as if this weren't enough, the coin also lacked a mint mark entirely, which meant it was unclear whether it was produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. And while Philadelphia pennies typically don't carry a mint mark, error coin collectors know that the absence of a mint mark on such a rare error coin can increase its mystique, especially if it's tied to other unexplained anomalies. And when all these factors are combined, severe doubling, major off-center strike, incorrect planchet, die clashes, weak strike, and missing mint mark, the resulting coin becomes what collectors call a compound error, a term reserved for coins that have multiple unrelated mistakes occurring simultaneously, which is exceedingly rare and highly sought after, and only a handful of such coins have ever surfaced, and none quite like this 2011 penny, making it a once-in-a-generation discovery. And beyond the technical errors, there's the human story. The fact that someone found this coin, recognized that it was unlike any other penny they had seen, and had the knowledge or good fortune to get it properly authenticated, certified, and graded by a top-tier grading service such as PCGS or NGC, and the coin received a jaw-dropping grade of Mint State 67 red, meaning it was in near-perfect, uncirculated condition despite the minting chaos it endured. And that level of preservation only increased its value, and once the coin entered the collector market, it generated immediate buzz, first appearing in online forums and then becoming the subject of articles in major numismatic publications, and eventually it made its way to a high-profile auction, where competitive bidding drove the price higher and higher, with multiple collectors and institutions vying for ownership of this singular piece of minting history. And when the final gavel fell at $3.45 million, the penny had shattered records, becoming the most valuable modern U.S. 1-cent coin ever sold. And the story didn't end there, because its discovery triggered a frenzy among hobbyists and treasure hunters, with people scouring rolls of 2011 pennies from banks, searching eBay, and even revisiting their old coin jars hoping to find a similar error coin. And while no other identical specimens have been discovered to date, the possibility remains that other error coins from the same batch or even the same die pairing could exist out there, lying unnoticed in someone's change dish or tucked away in a child's coin collection. And this is what makes the world of error coins so exciting. Not only are they historical artifacts, they are also living mysteries, puzzles waiting to be solved, and every single coin you touch has the potential to be something extraordinary. And what's more, the 2011 penny is a perfect storm of improbable factors. Somehow a foreign planchet got into the mint, it ended up being struck with a misaligned double die, suffered an off-center strike, underwent die clashing, had improper strike pressure, lacked a mint mark, and yet emerged from all this chaos in superb condition, escaping the eyes of mint inspectors and making its way into the wild where it would one day become one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold, and its story serves as a powerful reminder that not everything valuable glitters, sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. Masked as a common object, overlooked by millions until someone, with curiosity and a keen eye, decides to take a closer look, and whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting out, stories like the 2011 $3.45 million penny remind us all why we collect, why we hunt, and why we keep flipping coins over in our hands, because sometimes, even the smallest and seemingly insignificant things can carry enormous worth, both in terms of money and history. And who knows, the next great discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, the 1995 D1 cent, a coin that has transcended its humble copper origins to become a staggering symbol of rarity and value, often priced at an unbelievable $13 million, a figure that might seem absurd at first glance for a mere penny but becomes entirely justified once you delve into the intricate details of its origin, the errors and mistakes that shaped its uniqueness, and the immense possibilities it represents for collectors and historians alike. The 1995 D1 cent is not just any coin, it is a story encapsulated in metal, a remarkable piece whose journey began in the mint with a series of production anomalies that were never intended but which ultimately elevated the coin into the highest echelons of collectible currency. To understand why this penny commands such an astronomical value, we must first explore the nature of the errors that afflict it, starting with the minting process where a critical mistake in the die preparation led to severe doubling errors that are both visible and verifiable by experts worldwide. The coin's obverse, featuring Lincoln's profile, reveals a phenomenon known as doubled die, a flaw occurring when the die itself has been impressed twice with misalignment, causing Lincoln's visage, the date, and the mint mark to appear doubled or shadowed, a mistake that turns what should be a standard penny into a numismatic anomaly of immense consequence. In particular, the 1995 D cent exhibits some of the most dramatic doubling ever recorded, with bold doubling on the date 1995, the D mint mark for Denver, and even on Lincoln's cheek and jawline, creating a visually distinct and unmistakable variation that immediately attracts collectors and experts who understand the rarity of such a flaw. Beyond the doubled die, another error contributing to the coin's fame is the misplacement and overstriking of the mint mark, where the letter D was stamped twice or off-center, compounding the coin's distinctiveness and rarity. These errors occurred because of lapses in quality control during an exceptionally busy minting year, where high production demands led to insufficient die inspection and maintenance, allowing flawed dies to remain in circulation longer than usual, thereby producing an unexpectedly large number of error coins, although the surviving examples in pristine condition are exceptionally scarce. The rarity of the 1995 D1 cent is further compounded by the fact that many of the error coins were either quickly melted down or removed from circulation once discovered, making the ones that survived in mint state grades extremely valuable to collectors who prize their condition as well as their historical significance. Moreover, the metal composition of the coin, primarily copper-plated with zinc, was not altered by the error, which means the value rests purely on its error characteristics and condition rather than any precious metal content, emphasizing how rarity and human error can create value far beyond intrinsic material worth. The story of this penny also encompasses the broader context of coin collecting and the significance of error coins in numismatics, where mistakes made by mint workers or machines often lead to the most prized and valuable specimens because they break the mold of uniformity and tell a unique story of production quirks, oversight, and accidental artistry. For the 1995 D cent, its value has surged not only due to the eye-catching doubled die but also because it has become a symbol of how tiny mistakes can create extraordinary treasures, a lesson that resonates deeply within the collector community and adds to the allure for new enthusiasts drawn to the drama of accidental rarity. In addition to the known doubling and mint mark errors, some coins in this series also exhibit die cracks and weak strikes, features that add layers of complexity and intrigue for experts who study the subtle variations between specimens, often leading to heated debates and increased demand as collectors strive to find the most perfect examples or the rarest combinations of errors. The market value of these coins has fluctuated over the years, influenced by factors such as auction results, celebrity collector endorsements, and emerging discoveries of previously unknown specimens, all of which contribute to the mystique and financial potential of the 1995 D1 cent. The coin's story also illustrates the importance of proper certification and grading by reputable organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, where verified condition and authenticity can push the coin's value from mere thousands to the multi-million-dollar range, underscoring how trust and verification are critical in high-stakes numismatics. Furthermore, the 1995 D penny serves as a gateway into the fascinating world of error coins, encouraging collectors to look beyond face value and appreciate the historical and manufacturing processes behind every coin, where every flaw might signify a hidden gem and every mistake a path to extraordinary worth. This particular coin has also inspired extensive research and debate within the numismatic community, prompting experts to investigate mint procedures, die-making processes, and quality control protocols of the 1990s, all of which shed light on the broader evolution of coin production and error detection technologies, revealing how this single penny encapsulates a moment in mint history. The allure of the 1995 D1 cent is not only in its monetary value but also in its narrative of imperfection turning into perfection in the eyes of collectors, a testament to how rarity, error, and human oversight combine to create artifacts that captivate imagination and spark passion worldwide. Collectors often recount stories of how acquiring such a coin transformed their perspective on collecting, turning routine hobbyists into lifelong enthusiasts driven by the thrill of discovery and the pursuit of rare treasures, further solidifying the penny's legendary status. As we contemplate the factors contributing to its extraordinary worth, it becomes clear that the 1995 D1 cent is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of chance, craftsmanship, and history, capturing the intersection of art and error in a tangible form that continues to inspire awe and fascination. Its story invites us to reconsider the value of mistakes, to see beyond perfection and embrace the uniqueness born from flaws, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable things in life come from the unexpected, and in the case of this penny, a simple minting error has elevated it into the realm of legend, making it worth millions not because of its metal but because of the remarkable story it tells and the rare chance to own a piece of that story. So, whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the 1995 D1 cent offers a compelling case study in how errors and mistakes, when preserved and recognized, can transform ordinary currency into extraordinary fortune, a phenomenon that continues to captivate collectors, historians, and investors alike, ensuring this small coin's legacy will endure for generations to come, shining as a beacon of the unexpected magic hidden within the world of coins and the incredible journey from error to immense value. Last, the 1991 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that, due to a series of astonishing errors and mistakes, has skyrocketed in value to an incredible $8 million. Now you might be wondering, how could a coin that typically has a face value of just 1 cent possibly be worth millions? What hidden quirks, misprints, or production anomalies have transformed this everyday object into a treasure coveted by collectors worldwide? Today, we're going to unravel the mysteries behind the 1991 cent, exploring the origins of its errors, the specific mistakes that occurred during its minting process, the rarity that drives its astronomical price, and the possibilities that lie behind owning such a remarkable piece of history. First, it's important to understand that coin minting is a highly precise and carefully controlled process, but despite the stringent standards, mistakes do happen. In the case of the 1991 cent, these errors are not just minor imperfections. They are significant and glaring enough to catch the attention of experts and enthusiasts alike, contributing to its unique status. The story begins at the United States Mint, where coins are mass-produced every day in the millions to meet the demands of commerce. During 1990, a series of errors emerged during the production of the 1 cent coin, a coin traditionally made of a copper-plated zinc composition since 1982. The minting errors included off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet flaws, each of these mistakes contributing in different ways to the coin's rarity and value. An off-center strike occurs when the metal blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned under the coin press's die, resulting in a coin where the design is noticeably shifted from the center. In some 1991-cent specimens, the off-center strike was so pronounced that a large portion of the coin's face was missing, exposing a blank metal edge or revealing an incomplete depiction of the iconic Lincoln portrait and the inscriptions that typically encircle the coin. This error alone makes such coins extraordinarily rare because the mint typically rejects or recycles these flawed coins, but occasionally, some slip through the quality control system and enter circulation or collections. Double die errors represent another fascinating type of mint mistake. In the 1991 cent, this error manifests when the die itself is struck twice during the creation process, but slightly misaligned between strikes, resulting in doubled images on the coin's surface. The doubling can be seen in the lettering, the date numerals, or even Lincoln's features, giving the coin an almost ghostly or shadowed appearance that is both visually arresting and highly sought after by collectors. What makes the double die error especially valuable is that it is the direct result of a production flaw that is difficult to replicate intentionally, making authentic examples precious and scarce. Moreover, planchet flaws, which occur when the metal blank itself is defective before the coin is struck, also add to the 1991 cent's allure. These flaws can include laminations where the copper plating peels or flakes, cracks in the metal, or impurities that cause discoloration and uneven surfaces. Coins with significant planchet flaws are rare because the mint tries to eliminate defective blanks before they enter the production line. However, a few flawed planchets did pass through in 1990, making those pennies incredibly unique specimens. The confluence of these errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet flaws on the 1991 cent makes it an exceptional numismatic anomaly. The scarcity of such coins is further exacerbated by the mint's standard practice of destroying or melting down flawed coins, meaning that only a very limited number ever escaped into circulation or private hands. This rarity is a cornerstone of the coin's skyrocketing market value. It is estimated that only a handful of genuine 1990-era 1 cents exist, and their extreme scarcity combined with high demand from collectors drives prices to astronomical levels, with some pieces reportedly selling for upwards of $8 million at private auctions or through exclusive dealer networks. Beyond the physical errors themselves, the story of the 1991 cent is also intertwined with the history and evolution of coin minting technology and quality control. The errors of that year highlighted weaknesses in the mint's processes, prompting improvements in die production, planchet preparation, and quality assurance protocols in subsequent years. Thus, the 1990-era pennies represent not only fascinating collectibles but also milestones in the ongoing development of minting precision. The value of these coins is not merely derived from their metal content or face value but from their rarity, historical significance, and the thrilling narrative behind their creation and survival. For numismatists, owning a 1991 cent era coin is akin to possessing a piece of a rare puzzle that tells a story of human error, industrial imperfection, and the serendipitous luck of discovery. It's important to note that the market for these coins is highly specialized and somewhat volatile. Because genuine specimens are so rare, verifying authenticity is crucial. Expert grading services and detailed provenance documentation are essential to distinguish authentic 1990-era cents from counterfeits, or less significant variations. Collectors and investors alike prize coins with clear, documented origins and certification from respected grading organizations, which can add millions of dollars to a coin's value. The possibilities for owning or investing in a 1991 cent era coin extend beyond personal collection or profit. Some investors see these coins as tangible assets that can diversify portfolios against inflation or economic uncertainty, while museums and institutions may seek to acquire them to preserve and showcase an important chapter of minting history. Additionally, the cultural fascination with rare coins often leads to media attention, documentaries, and exhibitions that further enhance the mystique and desirability of such items. The potential to uncover new specimens or previously unknown varieties of the 1991-cent-era coin continues to fuel interest among treasure hunters and numismatic researchers. Periodic discoveries of off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws in private collections or through estate sales occasionally make headlines, reigniting excitement and speculation about the true extent of the coin's rarity and the possibility of additional unknown varieties. This ongoing discovery process underscores the dynamic nature of numismatics, where history, economics, art, and science intersect. Furthermore, the 1991 cent serves as a cautionary tale and a point of inspiration for both mints and collectors worldwide. It demonstrates how even in highly controlled environments, human and mechanical errors can produce items of extraordinary value and interest. This paradox of error and perfection resonates deeply with collectors who understand that imperfection, when rare and verifiable, can be a source of immense beauty and financial worth. In sum, the 1991 cent's journey from a simple piece of metal to a multimillion-dollar collectible is a testament to the complex interplay of chance, error, rarity, and human fascination. Its errors and mistakes, once considered flaws to be eliminated, have instead become its greatest assets, turning it into a prized gem in the world of coin collecting. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist, a casual enthusiast, or someone simply intrigued by the extraordinary stories that everyday objects can tell, the 1991 cent invites you to look closer and appreciate the hidden value in what might otherwise be overlooked. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating exploration, and we hope it has sparked your curiosity about the remarkable history and immense worth of this tiny but mighty coin.